The Timberwolves versus Nuggets game was one of the craziest games that we've ever seen, possibly in NBA history. I mean, this entire series has just been phenomenal, with the Timberwolves jumping out to the early 2-0 lead, the Nuggets storming back, winning 3 straight in a row, and then tonight, where the Timberwolves had, at one point, a lead of 50 points, with 4 minutes 28 left in the fourth quarter. Yeah, you heard that right, 50. 5-0. The score was 114-64. I just cannot stress how crazy this is, how unfathomable this is, that the team that was favored to win the championship coming into this season, coming into these playoffs, just lost an NBA game by 50 points. Oh my goodness. In this video, I'm going to be breaking everything about this game down. How this happened, why this happened, will this continue to Game 7? Will it not? Will the Nuggets win the last game? This was a crazy one, so let's just get right into it. First things first, I just want to say that this game didn't look completely horrible for the Nuggets. And by that, I mean in the first 2 minutes it didn't look completely horrible. Because at one point, the Nuggets were up 9-2. And that's when it all went downhill. In the next 7 minutes, the Wolves went on a 27-2 run. And then entering the second quarter, the Wolves went on a 13-0 run. And honestly, this was just a wild one. They just kept on going on runs and beating the Nuggets down. There was nothing that they could do to stop them. The Wolves shot 40 of 85 from the field tonight, which is 47%, pretty good. But they also converted on 38% of their three-pointers, and they shot almost 10 free throws more than the Nuggets, which is pretty impressive. Now look at the other side. How did the Nuggets play? Well as you would expect from a team that just lost by 50. They shot 25 of 85 from the field, which is 29%, not even 30%. I cannot believe that this is the roster with the reigning MVP. Additionally, they had 12 turnovers this game, got out-rebounded by 20. That's right, 20. And were just destroyed in every single category that you can talk about. Like, every single category that you look at, the Wolves outperformed them by just about insane margins. And honestly, this game might have just been the Jaden McDaniels game. That's right, Jaden McDaniels. They've got KD, but we got Jaden McDaniels. Yes, that guy. Because he dropped 21, 4, and had 3 stocks tonight with a plus-minus of plus 23, 80% from the field, and 3 of 5 from 3. Pretty crazy. But someone who just set a franchise record is Anthony Edwards, because he ended this insane game with a plus-minus of plus 43. Yeah, that's right, 43 points. And yeah, that's a franchise record. Pretty crazy. Now, if you look on the other end of things, you had Jokic drop 22 and 9, which doesn't sound too bad until you get to the shooting splits. He shot 0 of 4 from 3, and along with that, amassed 3 turnovers. On the other side of things, you had Jamal Murray, the supposed to be franchise cornerstone. Him and Jokic were supposed to be the 2 main guys. Well, he shot 4 of 18 from the field tonight, which is good for 22%. One of the worst shooting splits I've seen in a long time from a player who took that many shots. Christian Brown shot 16% from the field. Michael Porter Jr. 33%. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope 33%. And honestly, the further I go down on this list, it's just a ton of scrubs who missed every single shot they took. Like Justin Holiday, like Reggie Jackson, because they just played in the useless time. And they still got destroyed. I mean, the Wolves should have never been up by 50 points. But in the fourth quarter, it started off with the Nuggets scoring 2 points. Not too bad. Then the Timberwolves scored 26 straight unanswered points. 26! They scored 26 points in a row. And the Nuggets didn't score a single point in that run. Whew, guys, this is... I can't even put into words how nuts this game was. It was one for the ages. But now the interesting point of this video, because what you're all wondering is, will this continue into a game 7? Well, I don't know. Because every single time that the Nuggets have lost this badly in the playoffs so far, they've come back. And they've come back pretty strong. But can you come back from this? Can you come back from a 45-point loss? Maybe they can. Maybe they can't. But just to put it in perspective, Jokic has needed to have some monster games this series in order to keep the Nuggets afloat. I mean, he dropped 40 and 15 a few nights ago, 35, 7 and 7 a few nights before that, and the first game that they won of the series, he dropped 24, 14 and 9 with 6 stocks. He also sank his threes in the few games that they won, and on the Timberwolves side of things, there was only one real game where Ant-Man played well. Honestly, this dominance, it won't look this good in the coming next games, but it'll still look extremely, extremely good. I mean, there was just nothing that the Nuggets could do to stop the Timberwolves. They were just rolling through there. You saw every single basket. They just got there. They did whatever they wanted this entire game. They shoved around the Nuggets. And, at one point, I was starting to get really worried because Anthony Edwards fell and it looked like he was injured. Luckily, he wasn't. But even if he was, it wouldn't have mattered because they were already up 20 by the time that he was injured. Honestly, it's a good question whether this will continue to Game 7, and as an NBA analyst, I can't really say for certain. But we haven't really seen teams come back from this much of a beating before. I mean, if we look at all 45-point losses in NBA history, we have just about 10 on the list. And if you look at those games, these are all games from basically the 90s and one from this year. But from this year, it was the Thunder versus the Trailblazers. And if you look at playoffs, a blowout this big has never ever happened in NBA playoff history. It's going to be interesting to see what the Nuggets do, how they're going to redefine their rotation. Because at this point, they need to change everything up and they need to do it fast because they're not just going to be able to run it back. You can't lose by 45 and not make some drastic changes. This was an embarrassing loss, and like the video if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.